Hello everyone, this is Kyle Randall Tanzik from Michigan Medieval. Today I'm going to be recommending 6 books to HEMA practitioners, specifically HEMA practitioners who study the works of Fiore dei Libri. So to tell you my own personal biases is I can slog through textbooks all day, but I struggle to sit down and read a novel for enjoyment. So take from that whatever you want. Let's get started. So the first book we're going to talk about is called The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England, a handbook for visitors to the 14th century by Ian Mortimer. This is an awesome book to help you visualize the world that Fiore would have lived in. It has lots of answers to questions you may not have thought to ask, like how did people greet each other on the street? What did people use for toilet paper? It tells us about how there were packs of wild pigs and wild dogs and things that roved the streets of cities. Very fun and entertaining book. Probably my favorite recommendation on this list. Okay, moving on, we have Condottiere, 1300 to 1500, Infamous Medieval Mercenaries. This is an Osprey book by David Murphy, illustrated by Graham Turner. This is jam-packed with useful information. It's a very short book. Different philosophies and battle tactics, training methods, recruitment methods, leadership structures, army organizational methods, types of troops that would have been common or not. And Fiore lived from 1350 to about 1410, and so this book is right smack dab in the middle of when he would have been active or learning these things. So this is a really good, relevant book for us. Moving on, we have Knight, the Medieval Warrior's Unofficial Handbook by Michael Prestwich. And so this is an entertaining but dense with important information book. So outwardly it might look like it's a book for kids because it has lots of pictures and things in it. It has a kind of a quirky cover, but make no mistake, Michael Prestwich is an extremely credible historian, and everything in this book is very well researched, and it is a very lighthearted kind of casual read, so you can get a lot of learning random things out of this book that's still just fun to read. Moving on. So, now we have another Osprey book, Italian Medieval Armies, 1300 to 1500, text by David Nicole and color plates by G.A. Embleton. So, this is like a 40-page book. It also has lots of pictures in it. But it's got a ton of really useful information. You'd be surprised. You go through and you're making highlighter marks and you're highlighting the entire book basically. So this book was written in 1983, which is almost 40 years ago. I'm recording this in 2021. And so there aren't any glaring major errors, but the tone often strikes me as being a bit dated. But again, a really good book, more of a general overview of medieval Italian armies than the Condottiere book we talked about a second ago. Moving on. This is The Devil's Broker, Seeking Gold, God, and Glory in 14th Century Italy by Francis Stoner Saunders. So this is a book about John Hawkwood and the world that he lived in. If you don't know who John Hawkwood is, and you're studying Fiore, please get on Wikipedia and look that up right now. So this reads more like a novel than a textbook, which is a good or bad thing depending on your preferences. This is a really good learning resource, I would say, in general. But it is a big book. It's by far the longest book on the list here today. And people like John Hawkwood and Sturz and Hennekin, Baumgarten, and Ambrosio Visconti, and names like these famous Condottiere mercenaries, they would have influenced Fiore's view of politics and power and war. So this is, familiarize yourself with some of the stuff in this book. Again, if you like reading long, dense, historically inspired or historically accurate novel type books. Here we go. This book is Castagnaro, 1387, Hawkwood's Great Victory. This is another Osprey book by Kelly DeVries and Nicolo Caponi, illustrated by Graham Turner again. This is a breakdown of basically every aspect of this infamous battle. You get to learn about all these fighters we've been reading about in action. You can learn a little more about the tone and the psychology of the fight, the types of fighting that was going on. It's a really era-defining battle for kind of mercenary armies in this time period. And again, it's right in the middle of Fiore's life, so there's really no way he couldn't have been influenced by the events surrounding and taking place during this battle. Okay, bring everything back. My concluding thoughts, all these books are very affordable on Amazon and easily available. I really hope these books will help you become more of an expert on Fiore and the world that he lived in his time. Please comment with any recommendations you think I might have left out. But keep in mind that these books are meant to be ones that are affordable and easily available to anyone. So please like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We'd love to hear back from you. Thanks, and be safe.